What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live presented by Rockham. First off, back home, back in the cozy confines of, we'll call it the Postgame Live studio. I don't know. But anyway, glad to be home. But above all else, I am thrilled, elated that our Orlando Magic have won. Let's count together, boys and girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games. A 7-game win streak for your Orlando Magic, as tonight they beat the Charlotte Hornets 130 to 117 in yet another bit of a roller coaster ride of a game. But over the course of an 82-game season, that is to be expected. Ladies, gentlemen, hello. Welcome to Six-Man Show Postgame Live. I'm producer Kevin. Glad you're here. Chat, what is up tonight? Welcome. A Sunday night, a fun little early Sunday tip time, and another Orlando Magic victory. It doesn't matter if it's a Friday afternoon against the best team in the East, or a Sunday early evening against maybe the second or third worst team in the East. Magic are just winning. Chat, glad you're here. Before we look to the chat, before we talk about this game, before we talk about a big giveaway we're going to do in a little bit, I'm going to tell you about Rockham. Rockham is the world's largest sock store, and they're a Central Florida company. Their headquarters is located in Orlando, literally 15 minutes away from Amway Center. A great company with a great team. They love the Orlando Magic, and we love them. They're great supporters of the Six-Man Show, and so we always appreciate it if you go support them as well. I want to show you something, guys. Rockham has something new. They have a new line that just came out, and if you are a person of culture, you will appreciate this. Ready? Look at this. Look at this. They have the office socks now. It's amazing. Rockham has so many licenses for different sports, NFL, NBA, NHL, college sports, different things from pop culture, Disney, Harry Potter, and all that kind of stuff. But to get the Office license, that's insane. So if you are a fan of The Office, look at these Dundee socks. They're incredible. I mean, these are just great. Date Mike, all these good stuff. So anyway, you should shop at Rockham.com, whether it's for things like the Office socks or Magic socks or whatever. And when you do that, please use the code Magic20. That'll get you 20% off your order, and that's good all season long. And so that gets you some great gear, supports the Six-Man Show. It's a win-win-win all the way around. So thank you to Rockham for supporting the Six-Man Show, and thank you for using that code when you shop there. All right, chat, what is up, folks? Let's see what chat thinks about this. I can't, 7 in a row, guys. I'm almost like, I don't know. It's not that I'm not excited. I am excited, but it's just like, we've been doing this for over a week now. We're coming up on 2 weeks since the last time the Magic lost. And I don't want to say it's normal, but it's more normal. It's more normal. Bliss says, is he going to be whispering or loud? What is going on with this? Why did this thing get so... Okay, here we go. Is he going to be whispering or loud? I am home now, so I can be a more reasonable volume. So here I am. Let's see. Bliss, oh, yeah, same guy says, what a season. It really has been a crazy season. Michael Martin says, if Cole drops 30 on your team, forget about it. Yeah, absolutely. Rich Collab says, kind of felt like a preseason game. I thought it kind of felt, it felt funky. I was going to talk about that later, but I don't know if it was just the high of Wednesday, Friday, the two big opponents, and the team's just rolling, and then you come down and play a lesser team. Was that why? I felt the same thing. I didn't feel like the atmosphere was quite there. I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe it's just holiday weekend. I don't know, but I felt the same way. The atmosphere was a little strange. Doc 2, this is exactly it. He says, marched right through that trap game. Bring it. Yeah, absolutely. There was definitely some concerns about it being a trap game, and Magic definitely held on to it. Shahan with a super chat really quick. Thank you, Shahan, for that. He says, hold that L, Bridges. Kevin isn't waking up kids tonight. W. Yeah. Man, I don't want to talk too much about Bridges, but there's not a whole lot of guys in the NBA that I straight up root against, but I will gladly be rooting against Bridges all season long. I hope I didn't say Mikal. Miles Bridges, to be clear. I think I might have just accidentally said Mikal, but Miles Bridges. Yeah. If you don't know, just Google him and you'll know why. He's just not somebody that I think should be in the NBA right now. Just being honest. Elliot says, help that Melo went off. Yeah. He's a pretty good basketball player. Yeah. So Dizzy says, don't know what Brandon Miller told Franz, but dude was pissed. Aggressive Franz is a monster. Yeah. Yeah, Franz flipped a switch there after that physical play. Definitely flipped a switch, but freaking Franz, man. Unbelievable night for him. 30-piece for Franz. Love that. Space Ghost Q says, play the song. Next Snappa says, what does losing feel like? I forgot. We're literally, you got to understand, guys, by the time we play on Wednesday against the Wizards, will that have been 2 weeks? Let me think. That would be exactly 2 weeks. Yeah, because we lost on that Tuesday to Brooklyn. We beat Chicago on that Wednesday. So yeah, when the Magic play on Wednesday against the Wizards, it will have been exactly 2 weeks since the Orlando Magic lost a basketball game. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Steven says, great way to end the week. Absolutely. Soul Train says, let's make it 8 and 9 against Washington twice. I mean, I said it on the last postgame show, guys. Sometimes when you play most teams twice in a row, you're probably okay with splitting them. Like most teams, where the Magic are, most teams you're like, okay, if we split against these two teams, that's fine. Even if it's like a middle of the pack, no. We cannot split these games against Washington. You have to go 2-0 against Washington. If this team is what we think they are, you go 2-0 against Washington. Washington is terrible. They are a horrible basketball team. You have to sweep them. You have to sweep them. Koya says, Cole with 30 off the bench. Cole was just incredible. The only hero says hoping the best for LaMelo. Absolutely. Never want to wish injury on almost anybody. Ryan says, play the song. Jacob said, I thought we won 9 in a row last year like Cole did. Nope, we won 6 in a row last year. But if you turn that 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. You know. Turn that 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. Okay. David says, can we talk about how one of Moses' best coaching moves ever was moving Cole to the bench? When Cole was a starter, he left a lot to be desired, but he's been so much better coming off the bench. Cole, I mean, there's a reason why some people are talking about him in the 6th man of the year conversation. He's just great. He's great off the bench. And I talked about this a couple times this season. Like, for example, the Boston game on Friday. Cole wasn't efficient shooting the ball on Friday. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but it wasn't great. So you don't love that. But what I mentioned on Friday was there are nights, and I should say most nights right now, Cole comes in off the bench and he is just in complete control. Yeah, maybe some of his shots aren't falling, but he is playing within the flow of the game. He's not forcing. He's not chucking. They're, for the most part, good shots, but he just does whatever he wants. He gets to his spots, and tonight against a team like Charlotte, you know, the shots were falling, and he ends up with a freaking 30 bomb off the bench. Love to see. Benoit says, hi from France. Play this song. Let's go, Benoit. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, let's see. Homeless in the Car says, hunting for that number 1 seed. I mean, we're knocking on the door. We're knocking on the door. Bilal also says, any false news? I know nothing. I know just as much as you. But I believe this is, I want to say his 9th straight game missed. Don't love that. Don't love that. Sean says, picturing myself in those socks with a robe seducing my lady. Hey, that's one way to do it. Whatever works for you. Jay Curve says, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. Facts. The Distract says, I'm def copping some more Rock'em socks if we break the franchise win record. That's a great plan. We're going to talk about that win record, by the way. It's going to be part of our trivia question. That's going to be part of our giveaway in a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. D. Randall says, Whisper Kev was low-key sexy. Aw. You like it? You like when producer Kevin had to whisper last week for Thanksgiving? You want me to do all the shows like this? Or have to yell, like whisper, yell? You want me to do shows like that? Just kidding. I won't. All right, guys. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here to the chat, and we'll talk about this game. Luke Sylvia, co-host of the 6-Man Show. By the way, Jonathan, Luke, recording an episode right now for tomorrow. So by the time you guys wake up, or if you're a night owl, it'll be up usually around midnight is when we try to get those up. Jonathan, Luke will be putting out an episode. And I mean, what an episode it's going to be, because they get to react to Friday's Celtics game. Oh, and tonight as well. So anyway, he says your Orlando Magic are on pace to win or to go 58-24. Sheesh. That's insane. That's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of people saying everyone hates Bridges. Yeah, that's true. Ryan, this is a great point. 115 points is a lot to allow for our defense. Yep, I thought defense was not the best tonight. But, sorry, I got really distracted by our friend Jonathan Osborne here. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Defense, not great tonight. Part of it is obviously not having Jonathan Isaac. We're going to talk about that as well. But, it is what it is. Rob, thank you for this. He says, was trying to get the play that song chant going. Thank you for being a fighter, for being a warrior out there, doing the people's work. We're going to get it, guys. It's going to happen. You got to understand, though, like there is still such a large contingent of casuals at Amway at these games. Even if they're like just tuning in to this season and they're starting to get on board, there's so many people in the building that aren't on Magic social media and watching Magic videos and listening to podcasts and all that kind of stuff like us diehards, us Magic maniacs do. There's still so many people. I'm thinking like 80% of the people in that room have no idea about Play That Song. Like they just don't know. They have no idea, but it's going to catch on. And someday there's going to be a nice organic Play That Song chant in the final minute of a game. And it's going to be a movie. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Ed says if J.I. would have played, they wouldn't have hit 100. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Ryan says 2 30-point scorers. When's the last time? I'm trying to think if that's happened this season. Last season, we definitely had a couple. But this season, I'm not sure. Did that happen this season? You guys have to let me know. I'm not sure if they mentioned that on the post game on Bally. If you guys are watching that, let me know. Scott's Weekend Sports says, way to take care of business tonight, boys. Yep. I'm Joby says, the fact that we could have easily been 15-2 right now. Yeah, it's totally fair. Couple of games there that we really, really probably should have won. That Atlanta game, that one bothers me a lot. The Brooklyn game, not that it was a close game, but you're better than Brooklyn, and you certainly shouldn't have lost by 20. You had the lead at halftime, if I remember correctly, or at least it was a close game. And then that Dallas game, similar, just collapsed in the second half. I think those 3 games are the ones that are interesting. Ryan says, I see there's a gap in the schedule from December 2 to December 11. Is that where the IC knockout stage takes place? Yes. So they kind of talked about this on the broadcast. That week is going to be the knockout stages of the in-season tournament. That week is also going to be when every single team that didn't make the knockout phase, so the other 22 teams in the league that didn't make the knockout stage, all of those teams will play 2 games as well. If you look at the Orlando Magic schedule, there are only 80 games scheduled. Okay. And so there are 2 games for every team. Every team in the NBA will play at least 2 games that week. The people that make the final of the in-season tournament will actually play a 3rd game. But every team in the NBA will play 2 games this week. So what's going to happen is on Tuesday night, I can't believe I didn't mention Tuesday night. We got to talk about Tuesday night in a second. On Tuesday night, when the last round of the group stage of the in-season tournament happens, as soon as that is done, we will know the 4 teams from the East and 4 teams from the West that are going to be playing in the in-season tournament knockout stages. The other 22 teams are going to play each other. Okay? We don't know who the Magic are going to play, whether they make the knockout stages or not. They're going to play 2 regular season games that week. And so we might be in the knockout stage and go play Indiana, or we might not qualify for the knockout stages, and then we play another team that didn't qualify. Play 2 different teams, So like Tuesday we could play Charlotte again. Who knows? We could play Chicago. Who knows? It could be probably not Chicago because we played them in the group. But it could be Charlotte and Atlanta. It could be any other 2 teams. So that whole week, it's not an empty week for teams that don't qualify for the knockout stage. Everyone is going to play 2 games that week. Okay. All right. I need to you guys. Sorry, this whole sequence right here of Luke Sylvia saying, I'm uncomfy, and then Doc 2 says, put your shirt on. Oh, that is funny. That is great. Okay, listen, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. This is really important. 2 things. The giveaway we're about to give away 2 tickets to Wednesday's game against Washington. So you could see the Magic get their 8th straight win on Wednesday. And they're good seats, by the way. But Tuesday night, we're going to do something we've never done before. We're going to do a playback for not an Orlando Magic game. We're going to go live for the second half of those group stage games on Tuesday. That's Raptors, Nets, and Bulls, Celtics. We've already talked about this, but those two games are going to decide the Magic's fate in the in-season tournament. So we're going to go live on playback starting at 9 p.m., which is about when the second half of these games will tip off. We're going to go live on playback, react to both of those games as they happen live, and we're going to watch together what the outcome of this is and what happens with the Orlando Magic game. So, tune in Tuesday night, 9 p.m., playback.tv/six-man show. We're going to be there. You're going to get to react with us. It's going to be a wild one. It's going to be interesting. Okay. I had to skip a lot of things in the chat because you guys there's over 200 of you here? What are you guys doing? What the heck, you maniacs? It's Sunday night after Thanksgiving, and we just beat the Charlotte Hornets, just the measly little Charlotte Hornets, and there's 210 of you in here? What are we doing, guys? Man, you guys are maniacs. Thanks for being here. Good grief. I had no idea. I thought, man, you guys are crazy. Blown away. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, let's talk about this game. Let's see. Do you want to talk about the game first? I'm going to talk a little bit about the game, then we'll do the giveaway, okay? A little bit more of the game, then we'll do the giveaway, okay? So this game, oh my gosh, what is going on here? This game, chat, you guys are killing me. I can't handle this. I got to close chat. Okay, this game, we already talked about it. The screaming definition of a trap game, okay? Like, if you look up the definition of trap game in the dictionary, it's this game. You just come off these two gigantic wins, the two biggest wins this team has had in a decade. You beat the Denver Nuggets, the defending champs, on Wednesday, and then you convincingly beat the Boston Celtics on Friday. And so this team is flying high. It's a young team. How are they going to handle all the pressure, all the hype, the fact that there's now national hype around this team, ESPN, Bleacher Report, the TNT, and the NBA TV guys starting to talk about this team finally. How will this young team handle it when a team that is clearly not as good as them, the Charlotte Hornets, comes into town? Though, I will say, we mentioned this on Friday as well, the Charlotte Hornets are playing their best basketball of the season. They had won 2 in a row. They're looking good. How would this team handle it? And to be honest, the first quarter, they didn't handle it very well. This team got off to a slow start. Defensively was not great. And you're trailing after one quarter. However, the best second quarter team in the NBA rears their head once again, outscoring I almost called them the Charlotte Bobcats. That's how old I am, guys. I almost called them the Charlotte Bobcats. Holy smokes. They outscore the Charlotte Hornets 36-24 in that second quarter. Another great second quarter. And then they outscore them the other quarters as well. So technically, you only lose the first quarter. Now, there are a lot of things I'd like to see tidied up with the defense tonight. It was already mentioned in the chat, but you give up 117 points to Charlotte. I know Charlotte has a lot of streaky scorers in their team, but the way Orlando plays basketball, the way we're constructed, the way we like to win, we don't want to give up 117 points to a team like Charlotte. But anyway, you lose the first quarter, but you win the next 3. You know, Magical Daily says, shout out to Bismack Biyombo for no reason. You know what? I appreciate that. Shout out. Oh, man. Kevin says, first off, great name. He says, it's nearly 3 o'clock in Germany and I can't sleep because my mind is playing that song. Let's go. You know what? Just for you. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Ooh. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Yeah. Watch out, beware. Bam, bam. There you go, Kevin. Just for you. Just to help just keep it in your mind so you can't sleep anymore. Just kidding, Kevin. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Oh, man. Guys, a couple of you have been asking about... you guys love the song. You guys are just suckers for the song. As you should be. Let's go. A couple of you guys were asking about national TV games. And if the Magic are going to get flexed. I think it's inevitable at this point. Magic get another week or 2 of this, and it's inevitable that we're going to start getting some games flexed. I think you could see it as early as January. I think you could see it that early. We got a super chat to talk about. Soul Train. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. He says, like the Magic, I was born in 89. My birthday is next week, and the Magic winning 10 in a row would be the best present. Let's go, Magic. You know what, Soul Train? Because you talk about the streak, this is a great time to do our giveaway. Okay? We're going to be giving away 2 tickets to Wednesday night's game against the Washington Wizards, where you could see the Magic win their 8th in a row. I think I misspoke earlier and said the 7th in a row. No, tonight was the 7th in a row. Wednesday's the 8th in a row, if they were to win, which I hope they do. We're going to give away 2 tickets to that game. It's going to be a trivia question. 1 trivia question. I'm going to ask it, and the first person I see with the correct answer is going to win, okay? First rule is don't answer and try to enter this contest if you can't go to Wednesday's game, okay? I know we have a lot of people watching from all over the country, all over the world. If you can't go to Wednesday's game, please don't enter this contest because it's just going to make more work for us, and we're going to have to go find a second winner and all this kind of stuff, okay? So only enter this game, this trivia game, if you can attend Wednesday's game at Amway Center at 7 p.m. against the Washington Wizards, okay? Second thing is, it's going to go really fast, so don't even try to look it up. Don't try to cheat. Don't try to look it up. It's just going to be a really quick, I guarantee you someone in the chat is going to have this answer, okay? So don't even bother trying to cheat and look it up. We're trying to find a real Magic, the diehards, you know, the ones that have been around for a while. We want to give it to you. Okay, the other thing is we have to give a shout out. These tickets are not from us. These tickets are for one of our patrons, Donkey Punch Dave, one of our longtime patrons. We love our patrons, patreon.com/The Six Man Show, by the way, if you want to join. Yeah, so Donkey Punch Dave has these 2 tickets, can't be at the game, and he's like, you know what? Let's give it away to some Six Man Show listeners. And so thank you, shout out to him, by the way, for doing this. All right, it is time for our trivia question. You ready? This is the question. The longest win streak in Magic history is 9, which they have done 3 times. The last time they did this was in the 2010-2011 season. Who was the Magic's shooting guard during that stretch? Now, before you answer, the Magic had 2 starting shooting guards that season. They made a big trade in December. This person was the shooting guard for the second half of the season. This was the shooting guard for the second half of the season who was around for this win streak, this 9-game win streak. This was the shooting guard, okay? After the trade, this guy was the starting shooting guard for the second half of the 2010-2011 season. First person I see answers this question correctly is going to win 2 tickets to Wednesday's game. Let's see, chat. Who's going to get it? Whoa. Okay, here come all the answers for me. I'm on a 10-second delay from you guys. I got to scroll to the top. Let's see who gets it first. J Curve. That's the first one I see right here. Jason Richardson was the starting shooting guard after that trade and ended up being for the majority of the season. The starting shooting guard for the Orlando Magic. J Curve, congratulations. Again, hopefully you can actually be at the game on Wednesday. If you can, this is what I need you to do right now. I need you to go to your YouTube account. Like if you're on your phone, go down to where it's, your YouTube account, take a screenshot of that and DM us on either Instagram or Twitter /X with that screenshot to prove that you are who you say you are, that you are J Curve. And we'll get in touch with you that way, get your email address, and get you the tickets and all that kind of stuff. Congratulations, J Curve, for those 2 tickets to Wednesday's game against the Washington Wizards. Congratulations to you. Again, shoot us that DM as soon as you can, actually. That way we can get that taken care of tonight. Thanks for everybody for entering. A lot of really good answers. A couple other of you said Jason Richardson as well, but we'll give it to J Curve. Yeah, so that was the last time the Magic had a 9-game win streak, 2010-2011, which is funny. That's the longest in franchise history. We've done it 3 times. 3 times. It's very interesting that we've never gotten over the hump. Will that happen this year? We'll find out. In the next little bit. Oh, man. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the box score because this is an interesting one. A lot of really fun numbers in tonight's box score. Oh, wait, I didn't even talk about the second half. Whatever. We'll talk about the box score, and then we'll use that. We'll look at the box score and use that to talk about the second half. Obviously, as we always do, just because the way NBA.com lays it out, Franz is first, and I'm really glad he's first because holy smokes, what a night for Franz. 30 points for Franz Wagner. Esteban says, Man, I can't eat this much pizza. I can't talk either. Can't eat this much pizza. It's a lot of Papa John's going on right here. A lot of Papa John's happening this week, which is not a bad thing, or these 2 weeks. 30 points for Franz tonight. 11 of 15. He started what? 9 of 9, 10 of 10, something like that. Could not miss. Did whatever he wanted. Also went 2 of 3 from 3, which is his best 3-point shooting game in 2 or 3 games, maybe. Obviously, you want him to do better than 6 of 9 from the free throw line. But outside of that, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, but 30 points for Franz. He was great. Paolo just has these moments, man. He really is. I know we say it a lot, but the dude is him. Like, those mid-range shots, those turnaround, gets to the rim, gets the contact. Wow. Crazy. Love Paolo. Tonight he has 23 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Again, you want him to make at least one more of those, if not 2. But 7 boards, 8 assists, and 2 steals. Just did a little bit of everything tonight. Shout out Paolo. I also wanted to mention something kind of funny that happened. So, of course, I'm texting, or no, it wasn't text. I was talking with Jonathan Osborne, co-host of the Six Man Show. I don't know if it was after the Celtics game or after the Nuggets game. It was one of the recent games. And he says, yeah, Paolo is shooting 45% from 3. And I was like, over what? Like the last 3 games? 4 games? It's like, no, Kevin, Paolo is shooting 45% from 3 on the season. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And once again, he shoots 40% from 3 tonight, goes 2 of 5. If this dude is going to hover around a 40% clip from 3, obviously, I think that feels unreasonable to me. But if he is, this guy is going to be unstoppable. He is going to be unstoppable. Anyway, 23 for him tonight. He was great. Goga, 11 points for him, 5 of 7 from the field, several dunks tonight. Let's go, Goga. Also added 7 boards, 3 assists, a steal. Jalen Suggs. What has gotten into this guy lately? He's always been a fireball, but he has just been ignited lately. Tonight he has 12 points, 5 boards, an assist, a steal. Solid night for him. 5-9 from the field, including 2 of 5 from 3. Had a steal and 2 blocks. Man. Again, Jalen will always be so much more than his box score says. So much more. Another, quiet night from Anthony Black. Anthony Black kind of knows his role right now. He knows that these guys up here need to get the shots, so he's not ever going to go out there and wow you on the scoreboard or the box score, but he has a couple points, 3 assists in 15 minutes, kind of did his thing. Joe Ingles, silent tonight. Very quiet Joe Ingles game, not just from, shooting or scoring, but also only 2 boards, an assist, a steal for him. Gary Harris, also quiet. 5 points for him, 1 of 5 from 3. Did have 6 assists, which you love to see. Mo Wagner, compared to Friday, it was quiet. You could call it that. But this is this is more closer to a more normal Mo Wagner game where he has 11 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists. Caleb Houston, I'm skipping Cole for a reason. Caleb Houston, look at this guy, 6 points. Had them all in one possession, basically, by the way, with the 3 free throws and the 3. But he's been solid. Was solid on Friday, solid again today. First off, let me interrupt with a super chat from D. Randalls. Says, let's get to 100 likes. I like that. You know what? That's a good goal. If you're here and you haven't hit the like button, why not? It's free. It doesn't cost a dime, and it doesn't hurt anything. So go ahead and hit that like button. It'll really help us out. Appreciate that, and thank you for the super chat. And then finally on the bench, Cole Anthony. Cole freaking Anthony, man. Golly. I am just so, you know what? We had Thanksgiving this past week, obviously. I am just thankful to have Cole Anthony. I am thankful that Cole Anthony plays for the Orlando Magic. I don't know about you, but man, that guy, he's got it all. He's a good basketball player. He's a good teammate. He's got a good attitude. He's got a motor. He doesn't stop. He doesn't quit. He's funny. He's a great rebounder for his size. I I'm just falling in love with this Cole Anthony basketball player, man. He has just found his form. He's found his role. He's found his thing. And he knows that some nights he's going to go out there and score 9 points. And some nights he's going to go out there and score 30. And he's okay with that. He's okay with that. And you just love it. I just love it. He's so important to this team. He's become just as important as any of the starters. And so I'm so glad that he realizes that he can be just as impactful as all the other guys, even though he's coming off the bench. And he's been huge. David says, I went to Jam Hot Chicken today. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, yeah. We're big fans of Jam Hot Chicken here at the Six Man Show. Glad you got to go. Glad you got to enjoy it. The Distract says, Cole was lights out on the charity stripe tonight. Yeah. Got to the line 12 times, 11 to 12 for him. Good stuff. Good stuff. Dizzy says, just read the fact that the only other player to record 30 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds off the bench is Magic Johnson. What? Is that real? Is that a real thing? That's insane. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, interesting. Let's see. A couple other things here. Let's look at some team stats here. Points in the paint. 74 points in the paint for the Orlando Magic. Good grief, man. This team is bonkers. That's crazy. 74 points in the paint. 18 fast break points compared to their 8. You love to see that. You hold them to 8 fast break points. Not bad. Charlotte did have that 8-point lead in the first quarter, but you end up with a lead as big as 16 there in the fourth quarter once you start to pull away. Once again, you win the bench points battle. 52 for you compared to 43 for Charlotte. That bench is just... I know Cole was a big chunk of that tonight, obviously, but still, bench was great. Charlotte, you force 18 turnovers for Charlotte. You only have 14 of your own. You love to see that. And then points off turnovers. The Magic scored 28 points off those 18 turnovers. That's great. You'll take that. 28 points off turnovers. You'll take that every single night. Some other team stats here. The Magic shoot really well tonight. 54% from the field, 37% from 3. You'll take both of those any day of the week. Unfortunately, the Hornets shoot well as well. 53% and 43% from 3. But the free throw line is pretty much where you put this game away. You get 26 free throws compared to their 16, and this is just what the Magic do. This is just what the Magic do, and you saw it all night tonight. They're just relentless, constantly going to the rim, constantly forcing contact, and not only getting to the line, as a way of scoring the basketball, but also it just has to be so frustrating for the other team. It has to be. And so I think that's a really helpful thing. The other thing I was thinking about is how much it just disrupts the game. Like the Magic, they're obviously we talked about they're not a great shooting team, although lately they've been pretty good. But more than likely they're going to even out and be not one of the better shooting teams in this league. And so what better way to keep other teams out of like a really big rhythm or flow in the offense or getting multiple possessions repeatedly than to get to the foul line? And that's what the Magic love to do, and they did it again tonight. You out-rebound once again your opponent, 44-36. 10 steals. Hornets did have more blocks, but again, you win the turnover battle. And again, there's those 74 points in the paint. Great night. Great night for this team. Again, letdown was all... I mean, it was just written everywhere. Letdown, trap game, whatever you want to call it. And the Magic... The Magic were able to hold on and earned this win and earned a seventh straight win, excuse me. Guys, before we talk about the other scores around the league, and there are some really important ones, and before we talk about the standings, before we talk again about Tuesday night, which is really important. Tuesday night is the most important night without a Magic game for the Magic in a long time. We're going to talk about all those things. Before we do that, I do want to tell you one more time about Rockham. Rockham, again, we love Rockham. It's a great company. We fully support them. They're great. They make great stuff, and they are also a sponsor of our show. And so that means a lot to us that any business would choose to sponsor us. That really means a lot. We take that very seriously. And we also don't just accept any random Joe Schmo as a sponsor. We really take time to invest. We want it to be local companies. We take really time to dig in and figure out, what are good companies that, we want to, broadcast and support here while they support us as well. And so Rock'em is one of those companies. It's a Central Florida company, just like Jam Hot Chicken. So we're pumped to be partnered with both of them. Rock'em, located in Orlando, they do everything there. So this isn't like a company where they design stuff here and it's made overseas, or no, everything is done in Orlando. So all of the employees, from the founder and the head of the company, to the marketing team, to the design team, to the people that manufacture the socks in the machines themselves, which we saw again in Orlando, the manufacturing people, those employees, everybody is Central Florida based. And so we're pumped to have them as a partner this season. It's a great company. They make great stuff. They really do. We've shown this all year long, but use that code MAGIC20 to get socks like these. Get 20% off of things like these classic socks. They also have matching underwear if you're into that, Use that code MAGIC20 to get 20% off at rock'em.com. All right, guys, let's look at some scores from around the league. Because there's a couple of interesting ones. I'm going to refresh this to make sure this is up to date. Obviously, the Magic, 12-5, 131-17 over the Hornets for their 7th straight win. That's just so crazy to say out loud. Down here, the Timberwolves just smoke the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are a mess, but the Timberwolves are legit, guys. That's a good basketball team. The Suns eke out the Knicks at MSG, and the Celtics beat the Hawks, unfortunately. Man, I'm realizing because we were a game ahead. If the Celtics would have lost, we would have been tied with the best record in the East. That's interesting. The Bucks also won tonight. They were down big. Wow, I didn't realize how much the comeback was. They were down a lot. They had to outscore the Blazers 33-14 to win that game. That's crazy. As we continue our way up here, Nets and Bulls. This is interesting because, I was about to say, the Bulls were up big. They're up 17 after 1, and the Nets blow them out in the second quarter. 44-19 in the second quarter? What is that? Oh my goodness, Chicago. Get it together. Good grief. That is a disaster. Anyway, Nets are up 8 right now, and the Raptors are up 6 on the Cavs, and the Nuggets are blowing out the useless San Antonio Spurs. So what does all this mean? Let's take a look at the standings. I'm going to refresh this once again to make sure it's up to date. Your Orlando Magic remain tied for the second best record in the Eastern Conference, along with the Milwaukee Bucks, who you've already beaten, by the way. Just trailing the Boston Celtics by 1 game. What's so interesting about this to me, before we talk about Tuesday and everything, is we talked about this last season, but every game counts. Last season, we got towards the end of the season, we were right on the line of potentially being a play-in team. Obviously, that those hopes were ended, I believe, on Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the season. So we were right there until the very end with a chance to be in the play-in. And we talked about it then. We talked about this season. Every game matters. At the end of last season, we were really focused on those games in the last couple of weeks because we were looking at the standings and everything. But these games in November matter just as much as the games in March and April. So the fact that the Magic right now are building a sizable lead on some of these other teams is not insignificant. I don't know if the Magic are going to end up with a second best record in the East. If I were a betting man, I would say probably not. This still feels too good to be true. I'm not as much of a diehard as I am. I'm also too scared of getting hurt. I refuse to get too excited about this 12-5 start. Thank you, by the way, for hitting 100 likes. I appreciate that. Durandals, thank you so much for leading that charge. 100 likes tonight. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. But I'm not one to get so carried away right now about this 12-5 start. However, what I will get carried away with is the leads that we are building on some of these teams. Right now, we have a 4-game lead over the 11th seeded team in the East. That means Brooklyn or anyone else, whoever that ends up being, they only have to, I can't talk. Oh my gosh. You just have to win, 4 fewer games than them, and you're going to be fine the rest of the way. I know it's a long way to go, but what I'm saying is every game counts. And the fact that you are already building a lead over this group of teams right here is very significant. It's very important. And so keep it rolling. 7 in a row. Let's make it 8. Let's make it 8. And by golly, we should make it 8. We better beat the Wizards. Okay, guys, this is what we're going to do to close out our time. We're going to talk about Tuesday one more time, and then we'll briefly mention Wednesday. Once again, Tuesday night, we're going to be live on playback for the second half of those games. Actually, let me pull up those games just so we can look at them, get our eyes on these games. Okay. These are the games I'm talking about here. These guys. Celtics, Bulls, Nets, Raptors on Tuesday. Both start at 7:30. We're going to be live on playback starting at 9 p.m., around 9 p.m., which is about when the second half will start for these games. This is really big for this Magic team. And I know it's the quote-unquote NBA Cup. It's the in-season tournament. This is not the Larry O'Brien Trophy or anything close to it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not sitting here hyping this moment up like this is an NBA championship. Please don't mishear me about this. However, this is a really cool opportunity for this young team to make some noise, and I really would love to see them qualify for the knockout stage. If anything, even if they go and get blown out by a Milwaukee or whoever, the experience that this team would gain from going on the road in a hostile environment, in a win-or-go-home situation, would be so valuable for this team. Again, even if we go somewhere, Indy, Milwaukee, could even be Miami or New York, by the way. I'm going to show you these standings in a second. Go to those places, even if you get blown out. For me, obviously, I want to win that game. I want to win the whole dang thing. But the experience that this team could get is invaluable. So that's why I think Tuesday is really important. So we're going to be live on playback. I hope you'll join us. You don't want to sit there and listen to the Celtics commentators or the Nets commentators. It's not like it's a Magic game where you want to listen to David Steele and Jeff Turner, which I totally understand. It's not a Magic game on Tuesday, so come join us on playback. It'll be fun. Anyway, it's just huge. It's everything. So we need to be rooting for, above all else, a Raptors win. That's what we need to see, a Raptors win. Let me go ahead and pull up these the in-season tournament standings so we can talk through this one more time, because we haven't talked about it since the results on Friday night. All right, so the Magic are 3-1, and they're done playing. The Celtics 2-1, the Nets 2-1. This is where it gets interesting, okay? I mentioned this on Friday, so I just want to clarify. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head, okay? So what that means is if the Nets lose to the Toronto Raptors on Tuesday, and even if the Boston Celtics win, but if the Nets lose, the Orlando Magic are guaranteed to go to the knockout stage. Guaranteed. Because even if the Celtics were 3-1, the Orlando Magic own the head-to-head because we whooped their tail on Friday. Where it gets complicated is if both Boston and Brooklyn win on Tuesday. That's where it gets complicated because all three teams will be 3-1. Where it gets tricky is you can't use the head-to-head record in this situation because all three teams beat each other. Orlando beat Boston, Boston beat Brooklyn, Brooklyn beat Orlando. So you can't use head-to-head. That gets thrown out. The very next thing that is used, is factored in, is point differential. And so if that happens, we need the Boston Celtics to beat, if they're going to win, we don't want them to win, but if they were to win, we need them to beat Chicago by, I believe it is 21 points or less. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I could be off by one, but I think it's 21 or less. And we need Brooklyn to beat Toronto by 13 or less. So there is a world in which Brooklyn and Boston both win on Tuesday. But if they only win by those margins, 21 or less, I believe it is for Boston, and 13 or less, I believe it is for Brooklyn, the Orlando Magic still move on. So what that means is the odds, mathematically speaking, are technically in the Orlando Magic's favor. I think the Raptors have what it takes to beat the Nets on Tuesday, which would be the first step. That would be the easiest way for the Magic to get in. But the odds that both the Celtics and the Nets don't win those games by those margins is also very possible. It's very possible that the Nets don't beat the Raptors by 14 points, or the Celtics don't beat the Bulls by 22 points. I think it's very possible. Now, the Bulls are terrible, so that scares me a little bit, but we'll see. So right now, I'd say, and in fact, Vegas agrees. Right now, Vegas has the Magic as the favorites to get out of the group right now at minus 400. So we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. The other thing that was talked about on the internet today is if the Magic were to advance, which I know we're putting the cart a little bit ahead of the horse, but because the Magic are done playing in-season tournament games, I feel okay talking about this because we've done our job. Now we just have to sit back and wait. But if the Magic were to advance, the Orlando Magic would not host the in-season tournament quarterfinal, okay? There were some people talking on Twitter like we would. We would not host it, okay? The qualifications for hosting, like the seedings basically for the knockout stage of the in-season tournament is determined by how we did in the group stages, okay? So that means Indiana guaranteed to host. They're 4-0. 4-0. They're going to host. Milwaukee, if they win, they're going to host. 4-0. Those are your two hosts. However, if Milwaukee loses, look over here at this point differential. 13 points. I think the total over the 3 games would be 39. Yeah, 13 times 3 is 39. Great math. 39 points. So that would mean that they need to lose. Ours is 22. That means they need to lose by at least 17 points if they were to lose to make the Magic have a better point differential. However, the issue is they are playing the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat's point differential, I believe, is 11. Total points is 11. And so if they beat the Milwaukee Bucks by 17 points, then their point differential would be 28, which is greater than the Orlando Magic's 22, which means they would host. Anyway, long story short, there's no situation in which the Orlando Magic would host an in-season tournament game, which means they will go on the road to either Indiana or Milwaukee, or it could even be New York or Miami, regardless. Actually, no, they wouldn't. New York, it's impossible. Well, no, it is possible. Sorry, disregard. Doesn't matter. They're not going to host. They'll either go to Indy, Milwaukee, New York, or Miami, which is crazy to think about that they could go to any of those places. Milwaukee, New York, Miami, that doesn't sound fun. But Indiana, sign me up. Sign me up. Let's bring it. I'm not scared of Indiana. I'm not scared of it. So anyway, that's the implications for Tuesday. I really hope you'll join us on Tuesday. Playback.tv/The Six Man Show. Or I believe it's Six Man Show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you'll definitely join us for that. And then, yeah, Wednesday night, we play the Wizards. I hope we can take care of business there. If we play our basketball, we'll beat the Wizards. The Wizards are terrible. They are really, really bad. They are not a good basketball team, and you should not lose to them. Okay. JSCO says, yeah, let me hit the chat one more time before we call tonight. JSCO says, if it's Miami, I'm definitely at that game. Love that. David A says, victory tastes like a free Starry sample. Hey, the real ones know. Real ones know. Oh, man. Scott's Weekend Sports says, 5th easiest schedule left. All we have to do is continue to take care of business. We have a top 4 seed. Interesting. 5th easiest schedule. That's wild. That's wild. Fun stuff, guys. All right, this has gone on way too long. 50 minutes for a post-game show. You guys are crazy. This is fun. But that's going to do it for us tonight, I think, guys. Like I mentioned earlier, Jonathan, Luke, currently recording the next episode of the Six Man Show. So definitely tune into that, either first thing in the morning tomorrow, or if you're a night owl, it'll go up around midnight tonight. So definitely tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Again, join us playback Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, to react to those other in-season tournament games and find out if the Orlando Magic are going to make it to the knockout stages. Until then, we'll see you guys then. Have a great Monday, and let's go Magic!